Conversations with King. What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? I am so happy to be here. Please get people in the room. I got the Queen's Court today. It's Tuesday at 9 o'clock. It's going to be amazing. Today we have a special guest. I don't really want to introduce her right now because if I introduce her right now, then you're going to tell your mother and tell your sister and tell your nephew and nieces to come on. And I want it to be organic because I don't want to cheat. Because we got a star today. I don't want to cheat. I want to keep it simple. I don't want to cheat. We have an amazing woman today. Not only she's a Columbia grad, also from Brooklyn, also a Delta. Shout out to the Deltas out there, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. But she's also part of one of the most amazing shows, new show on OWN, Oprah Winfrey's network. So she's coming to show love to us and come and talk to us about, everything we talk about through courtesy of Nikki. But I'm not going to mention, I'm not going to introduce her. I'm going to wait till she comes and then Nikki will introduce her properly because you know me, I'm a little bit crazy, right? But what I want to say to all the moderators, shout out to Little Boy Linsky, shout out to Quiz, shout out to Queen Nita, and everybody that comes in late. Please make sure when she comes in the room, you monitor the room, chat room correctly, the Guardian. Make sure no one disrespects her or any other woman on the panel. That's one thing we play. We have one rule, which was set by my mother, Gloria Booby, right? I said her name, Gloria. We call her Kala because Kala means it's a flower in Ghana. Her name is Gloria. Gloria says no matter what you do on this show, never disrespect women. So before anybody come out of line, please, they get timed out or they get kicked out. You have my permission. They have to respect a woman. If a woman says anything rude or mean to us, we just eat it. We eat it. You know why we eat it? Because we men. We leaders. Ladies, we check ladies. That's what they're going to do. Let them check each other. But we as men stay out of it. Okay? Thank you very much. Thank you so much for joining me today. I want to do a quick, for the sponsorships, I want to show love to everybody in the sponsor. Shout out to Kimberly. We appreciate you. April Carter, we appreciate you. Before I introduce the beautiful ladies in Queen's Court, the most consistent ladies in Queen's Court, we want to say thank you for coming through. But we're gonna also hold on. Let me make sure I got everybody. Hold on. Yep. Okay. I did. Allie had Allie has a surprise dinner date today, so she can't make it. I just saw the message. So shout out to Allie and the Don Tom. We appreciate her. I just saw the message right now, so I was wondering. So please, it's okay. I went out today. Went out to lunch, and now everything is just hitting me like this. Everybody is hitting me. So shout out to everybody. Let's do the sponsorship and start with the show. First and foremost, we want to give a shout out to Ripple.com. Those who support me, go support Ripple. It's at the ripplecode.com. If you use the Ripple King, it's 50% discount. You know, it's a difference already. Like, where's the commercial, right? It's a little bit different, but we're going to get into that right now. The ripplecode.com. 50% discount. Please go and support. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Those who don't know, who love me for real, then what you do, love me for real, then you're going to get my book, Loving Life Through the Eyes of Travel. We're going back to the days when we screaming out for shout outs and likes and throwing the book up. We're going back to the days. Shout out to y'all. They're not going to stop what I do. They're not. Also, shout out to those who want to join the membership only King's Court. I know I keep on telling you join membership only, right? It's not a scam. I don't have no exclusive content up there. There's a few emojis. It's not a scam. I'm just living my life. I'm gonna put I swear on everything. I'm gonna put exclusive content. It's just that you know what? I'm gonna take you on my birthday trip with me because I just don't know how to. I feel like my life is not really that exclusive. You know, it really is. You know, it really is. But I don't want to charge, but. You know what? I'm gonna put my life in that and dates I have with females, blah blah blah. Because clearly, every time I put dates up on IG, it gets me in trouble. Anyway, shake your head, Kim. With that being said, also shout out to Conversation with King, the Bonfire. Please go and support that. The merchandise that we have. With that being said, I truly appreciate everybody that come and support Conversation with King, especially on Tuesday. It's Queen's Court. We are going to have fun. Yesterday we had an amazing conversation. It went to like almost 6 hours, but it felt like 2 for me. You feel me? And I only got paid $25. How much I love you. I got paid $25 for 6 hours of work. know how much I love y'all? Y'all don't be paying me. I'm about to take my services to the white community. But anyway, with that being said,
we're not doing that tonight, sir.
I'm saying, can the black people, they got money. Y'all got money. Y'all pay me. Hello, I'm messing with y'all. Shout out to TK Sanders. Shout out to everybody. We appreciate you. Shout out to my Grenadian queen, Spice Queen, April Carter. We appreciate you. And everybody I've missed, I apologize. Shout out to Terry. Thank you for coming in the room today. Shout out to Freezy. Thank you for coming in the room today. I appreciate it. Thank you for saying it's a great book. And thank you for your comments yesterday, Frat. I appreciate you. You really had good comments, you know. And I see how, just like a real noob, at the end of the day, we always make sure the ladies are good. You know, I mean, getting that noob juice, it'd be really good. Hello? Relax. With that being said, y'all all turn around and say, y'all had the noob juice.
I never had no noob juice.
Better than mega oil, I tell you that.
I had Sigma Punch.
I've had oil before. It's good. It's good. Don't eat the fruit at the bottom though, because that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah, they need to stop. They need to stop dancing around like that. Get tired. Shout out to Loveboy Linsky. Shout out to the captain of the ship. Shout out to Missy T. I want to say something, but I'm not going to say something. You know who had who on whose channel? You made a face, Nikki. It looks bad.
No, she's trying to sign in. It's asking her for her email or phone number. Does she need to put that in?
That never happened to it. Does?
That never happened to me.
I think if you log in for the first time, you probably have to put your email in.
I don't remember that.
It's probably her very first time.
Okay, so I should tell her just put her email in there?
Yeah, just put her email in.
Tell her that so we can have all the fans just contact her.
Okay.
Joking. But y'all know who was on whose channel. We'll talk about that later. We're gonna talk about that later. I'm trying to stay out of it. All right? I'm trying to stay out of it, people. I'm trying to be good this year. I was good. I didn't talk about anybody this year, but you know me. You know me. People, you know me. You know who's on whose channel.
Let's just save it. Let's save it. We'll table it. We'll come back to it.
Listen to you. I told you, all my ladies be leaving me. Except for my black ladies. I swear, they're still here.
The actual Nubian queen.
Yeah, y'all still here. Oh, we have a special guest here. Yay. So before I bring her up, I would like for Nikki to give her a formal introduction to this amazing woman. She's actually like when you hear what she's accomplished and when you hear what she's associated with, right? You're gonna realize how amazing she is, and we have the opportunity and the blessings of having her early because probably next year we might not even be able to contact her. That's how big she's gonna be. Like, yo, don't call me, call my agent's agent. She's not gonna talk to us. So everybody, just please take her now, embrace her now, because there's gonna be a time where you're gonna be like, I can't even talk to her, or she's gonna be like, security, get him off my premises, please. Oh, King Hoop. So we want to say thank you for coming today. Nikki, would you mind introducing you, not only an amazing actress and a real actress, not somebody that did TikTok. I mean, she got her MFA from Columbia, right? We're not talking about people that walk down the street and you say, I'm an act. No, she's an actress, a thespian, right? So with that being said, we want to have you introduce her, not only a great actress, but your soror. We got 3 deltas on the panel today. Oh, sheesh. Shout out to the Kappas though. Shout out to the Kappas. Please, I want to bring up because we need Kappas on here. But please introduce her so I can bring her up. Thank you.
Well, first of all, peace to the garden. Once again, thank you, King, and my soror, Kimberly. We're about to have a good time tonight. So what's up to everybody? Now, we have my soror, my chapter soror, Xi Ta chapter. Now, this is like, everybody talks about Alpha chapter, but, I'm going to tell you something about Xi Ta. I'm talking Harvard, MIT, Wellesley, Tufts, Babson, Bentley, and Leslie. I'm talking about Rhodes Scholars. I'm talking about, the Attorney General of the United States of America, Xi Ta chapter. And so we have here tonight my chapter soror, Heather Alicia Sims. She is an award-winning actor, actress. I don't know which way we're saying it these days. I think they stopped saying actress for a while and started saying actor. But either way, a thespian, as King has said. She's an Obie Award-winning artist. She has worked with the likes of Spike Lee. And when she comes on, she's going to tell you some of the other people that she's worked with. She works in theater as well as on the big screen. Right now, what she's here to talk to us about tonight, which I think is always kind of like a fortuitous, a good omen, if you will. She is on a show right now that is currently airing on the OWN network, Oprah Winfrey's network, and it is called The Kings of Napa, and it is about a wealthy Black family that owns a winery. And given that we're here at the King's Court Conversation with King, well, the Queen's Court on the Conversations with King network, that we have someone who is one of the stars of The Kings of Napa. She's also just a dope individual. She's a Brooklyn girl, so we got 3 Brooklyn cats on the panel tonight too. So everybody from Brooklyn is 9 times out of 10 dope. So as King said, she is a graduate of Columbia University, which is also King's alma mater, where she received her master's in fine arts, and she is a graduate of Tufts University as well. So I'm not going to tell you the rest because we're going to get into that when we actually talk to her. But if you guys can give a warm internet applause and welcome for Heather Alicia Sims.
Heather Alicia Sims. Yay.
Hey, everybody.
Yay.
That was such a beautiful introduction. King, I think I'm going to need you to follow me everywhere I go because no one's ever introduced me like that. And Nikki, my love, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm so happy that you were so gracious to just come on and chat with us. I didn't have to beg you. I didn't have to prod you. I just said, hey, you want to do this thing? And you were like, sure, just tell me when, just send me the information. And you're here, you're on time. You got a beautiful smile. You're glowing. So thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. Hey, Kim. Hey, Soror.
Hi, Soror. Hi, Heather. Nice to meet you.
Echo.
Meet you.
There's an echo because somebody might have another screen on. Or another screen on the computer. If there's another screen, are you looking at it from a regular YouTube?
Do you have YouTube on any of other screens other than?
It might be.
Oh, you know what? I might have YouTube on because we were just. Is that better?
Yes.
Yeah, we were just live streaming.
Yeah.
So
thank you.
Live tweeting.
Okay. Yeah. So we want to say thank you for this. Your presence today. We definitely want to know who you are, and it's going to lead to the topic of the day because I came up with this topic because there's an issue with another actress. You're probably familiar with her. Name is Audrey Hepburn. Audrey Hepburn, if you look at most of her movies, she was a person. Every movie, the undercore or the underlying theme of the movie was a woman choosing the life that she wanted or the love that she wanted. And I believe that every woman has to make that choice at some point in their life where they have to choose between their profession and their partner. And some women balance it and some women don't, but either way, they have to make that choice. And there's no wrong or right answer. So I'm so glad we have you here because you are successful, right? And the 2 other deltas here are successful too. But I want you to provide guidance to other ladies, particularly Black and brown women, right? Because I can't do that. As handsome as I am, I can't give that advice, right? But what I want you to do, if you can, give the advice that provides them some type of grounding when it comes to picking between their professional career and their love career without losing themselves. Right? So I feel like you're the perfect person to do it, right? But before we do that, we want to know, please tell us, how did you get from Midwood High School all the way to probably, and I'm going to talk into the distance, the best show on the OWN's network?
Oh, thank you.
The best show on the OWN's network. How did you do that? Can you give us probably a 2-3 minute synopsis of how you did that?
Okay, 2-3 minutes. I went to Midwood High School. I grew up in Brooklyn. I was raised by Jamaican parents. I'm the first person in my family born in this country. And so I think what I saw my parents do was go after their dreams, because when you leave another country to go someplace else to start a life, that's a dream. So I saw them going after their dreams. They were educators. My parents, I always thought that college was the 13th grade. That was what I knew.
Right.
And so it wasn't about, oh, I'm going to go to high school and stop. I knew I was going to the 13th grade. But what I was going to do in the 13th grade was not always clear to me. So I majored in history and English as an undergraduate at Tufts. And I took a year off because there was something in me that wasn't really sure about how to do the thing that I knew that I loved, which was acting. And so I took a year off, and quite frankly, I was not I was depressed. And I sat down, and I remember my father saying to me, well, you've got to do something. You've got to get a master. He said, you've got to get a master's in something because you're not finished. And he said, anything. I said, anything? He said, yes, anything. I said, I'm going to get a master's in acting. And he was like, great. And the thing that I guess forgot was even though my father was an educator, he was also a Renaissance man. He was a musician. He played several instruments. Whenever he took us to the theater.
Yes.
So he gave us an appreciation for the arts that was really instilled in me from a little girl. So I remember one of the first auditions that I had for a Shakespeare play. He was like, "What are you doing?" Okay, let's read this through. And so I had that support. And I think once you have that kind of support from your family, and not everyone has it. I know that I was fortunate to have it, but once you have that kind of support, you're able to just dream bigger, have unbridled dreams. And so you ask how I got from Midwood to where I am now. It was the support of my family, of my parents.
Wow.
So,
Wow. Okay. So here's where we get spicy. My parents are African. They're from Ghana. Their parents are West Indian. Shout out to Jamaican. Shout out to Jamaican. What parish?
Clarendon and
okay. Okay. With JLP or POP? See, I'm getting deeper now. JLP or POP?
Well, listen, I'm not going to divide the people right now.
Right. Okay.
Wow.
All my Jamaicans know what I'm talking about when I say those letters. They know. It gets really spicy. You think Republicans and Democrats are spicy?
Exactly.
JLP and POP? Woof. That's a different type of story. But I want to get spicy because, as an immigrant, as a son of immigrant parents, they always preach doctor, lawyer, engineer, maybe teacher. Acting? How did you pull that off?
Well, you know what?
You get what I'm saying, right? You get what I'm saying.
I do. I really, as I think about it more and more, my parents are no longer with me, but as I think about it more and more, I think about the fact that my father did have a heart for the arts. And even though I think they expected me, my father did say, well, with your master's, you can always teach. So
right.
At the heart of it, our parents just want us to be okay.
Right.
Most parents just want you to be happy and be able to support yourself. And I remember one time I was talking to my father, this was later, and I said something to the effect, "Oh, Daddy, I'm a professional actor." And it tickled him. He laughed, and it was a laugh of, yeah, you accomplished that. And I was happy that I could make him laugh in that way.
Right.
So how did I do it? Listen, I've got a bunch of lawyers and doctors and everybody else. You didn't need another one, I did not need another one.
Right.
But they knew that I had my education. Right. They knew that I could do anything that I wanted to do, and this is what I wanted to do.
Oh, wow. See, I love this. This is going to be a great, great, great night. We're going to bring everybody together. It's going to be a great night because she is so real. She is so transparent. She's accountable. Nikki.
Before we go any further, I want to make sure, I want to play, for people in the chat or people who may be watching this on the replay, I want to play the trailer for the show, and then also play just a little 5-second clip of her character on the show.
Okay, you want me to add it right now?
Let me pull it. I don't think I'm on the right clip. Let me fix the clip that I want to be on, and then I'll tell you to pull it up because I'm on the wrong clip. So
let me know.
1 second.
Whenever you're ready. Because she is amazing. This is going to be such an amazing interview. Oh my gosh, I'm happy. Shout out to all my Jamaicans, all my yardies. Shout out to everybody that made me Aki and Saltfish when I was growing up. Shout out to everybody. I'm from Brooklyn. I'm from Brownsville. But we own buildings on 98th and Lenox. And we had Mike Island's Grill. I used to always get my festival and over there. So shout out to everybody.
Oh my God, I haven't had festival in so long.
You know, it's funny. Well, I grew up on Lenox in 43rd.
Oh wow. Okay.
That's close. But in tonight's episode of the Kings of Napa, that's what we were eating: festival and fried dumpling. And
you're joking. See how God works.
But you know, and we can talk about this later, but that's one of the things that I love about this show is that they represent on every level, right? Not just the people, right, but the food, right, the art. It's just aspirational in a way that I love for Black people.
Did you incorporate that? Was that your idea to make sure they represented for the Caribbean culture?
No, that was the showrunner.
Oh wow!
Who, Janine Sherman Barwa, she on every level she covered it, and it was beautiful.
Okay.
And another thing that I love about when you talk about the representation on the show is that this is clearly a Black family. This is not an ethnically ambiguous. What are they? Could they be half? This is a Black family. Like the deeply pigmented actresses. It's not just the one token dark skin. Like. Everybody sitting at the dinner table is a highly melanated woman, and it's just so beautiful. And the way they dress, all of the pastel colors just pop on the screen. I don't know who was picking out the clothes, but what's the girl's name?
Ebony,
the one who's taking over the company, the one sister,
sister,
August.
Yeah, August.
Her dresses, I am standing her wardrobe selection on the show. Okay, so I love that representation of just an actual identifiably Black wealthy family in Napa. I think it's amazing, as well as the diversity and inclusion of, on the storyline, a brother who is openly dealing with bipolar. You have a little person who is a brother. There's just so much. It seems very intentional that whoever is in charge behind the scenes has made an intentional decision to be forward thinking in their representation of Blackness on screen. So I love that.
Absolutely.
So what we want to do is, are you ready to start it? So I could.
Yeah, you can pull it up.
Okay, let me pull it up, and then because I really want to get to this conversation. It's going to be so dope today. All right. Is it good now?
Yeah, I'm going to just hit play, and it should play.
Okay, she's sharing the screen.
I want to bring House of Kings into the future. Look into my eyes.
You have the echo. Hold on, please. You have an echo.
Do you really want everyone in Napa to know that your picture perfect life?
Everybody, please press mute.
You made it seem. I come with love. I have handshake.
Your family.
It's a family.
Watch out, Napa.
Dad made me president because I have a vision.
It's that mind of yours that's going to take us places.
I'm bringing August down by any means necessary.
If you are hiding more secrets, I will destroy you.
Your mama's acting like she is the first Black person to be backstabbed by her family. This mess goes back to Othello.
This is not about extortion. This is about revenge.
Business is hard, but family is a beast. It's about to get super saucy up in here, child.
Yeah, you know what? You know what? You know what? Nobody loves wine like Black women. First and foremost, let's get that correct. Nobody loves wine like Black women. Nobody loves entertainment and cultural capital like Black women. This is like a win-win. This is a win-win. I want in. Somebody put me in. Find a way to put me in, please. With that being said, clearly the show is amazing. Clearly they picked the right person for the role, Yvette King. Now, when you were selected to play this particular character, and because it's just started first season, is this character relatable to who you really are, Heather?
It is. I'm an auntie. I think I'm the fun auntie. I think I'm the auntie that, my peeps can come to and confide in, which I love. I love being an aunt. I love my godchildren and my, all of them. But I do draw from my family of aunts and uncles and the people who have held me down, who have taught me, who I've had to learn from. And I think that Yvette King who is a businesswoman, who is loyal to her family, is someone that we all know. She has her own money.
Right.
So she's rich, but her brother and them are richer. So she's not stush. She's not trying to keep it up here. She's trying to make sure that her family is going to stay together and they're going to love each other and it's all going to be family. So I can definitely relate to all of that. Right. Yeah, it is definitely a part of me.
Okay. When you compare to other shows, right? How do you view your show in comparison to other shows? Like, what are women going to get when they come and watch a show? What are Black men going to get if they come and watch a show? Like, what is the underlying message? What is the hidden curriculum of your show?
Well, first of all, everybody fine. So out of the way, everybody. Right. But Nikki said something earlier about it being a highly melanated show. And I'll say this, one of the first scenes that we shot, Ebony, who plays August King, was on a podium and I was watching her. And it was the scene where, if you haven't seen it, I won't spoil it for you. Right. But I really started to get really emotional because I had not seen, when I was coming up, a lead in a TV show that looked like that. And to be this young, beautiful chocolate girl, that wasn't there, and I look at the people who came before me, people who I know and who I've worked with, who had to fight just to make sure that she could be on that podium.
Right.
It was a beautiful experience, but I just went off on something and I forgot the question that you asked me.
No. Yeah, the question was basically, at the end of the day, in regards to your show, what are the benefits of men watching the show, women watching the show? What are we getting from it? What is the curriculum?
Okay, so it's about family. It really is. The basis of this show is about family. Now, this is a really rich Black family, so it's aspirational in many ways.
Right.
Many of the people in the family have their own businesses, have their own side hustles.
Right.
They're not sleeping.
Right.
They are really trying to make the whole world of the King family better, but their own individual lives better. So they are striving. What will men get out of it? I mean, there's a storyline between Dana, who is fighting for the throne, and his wife. That is really it's going to get juicy. I don't want to spoil it, but it
Right.
gets really juicy in terms of how they relate
Mhm.
and how they are going to move their family and the legacy of the King family
Wow.
forward.
Wow.
And a part of Dana's struggle is how to speak in that relationship, how to be open with his wife,
Right.
you know? And we're seeing a lot of that as a recurring theme in many of the relationships.
Right.
And so if you're a man trying to figure out how to relate, or a woman trying to figure out how to relate to their partner,
Yes.
a lot of that is going to happen.
Right. One of the things I've seen from my short time watching the series is that I think the added value bringing to society is the imagery of affluency within the Black community, right? Not everybody's used to that, right? And the storyline show that there's a certain affluent people in. I know we read the book, Our Kind of People,
Mm-hmm.
right? There's a hidden affluent community within the Black community that we don't talk about, right? We don't talk about the cotillions. We don't talk about the Jack and Jills. We don't talk about the frats, the sorority. We don't talk about the HBCUs, the Ivy Leagues, the Tufts, the Wellesley. We don't talk about that, right? And now we talk about Napa, wine, ownership, equity. I believe the imagery behind that is the added value, is the hidden curriculum, right? For us to get used to that as a community. And I love shows like this because it was shows like Cosby. It was shows like A Different World that had that same type of affluency, but through entertainment. They did it so smooth, you didn't realize, like, we talking to people that actually are well-to-do, but you're so into the storyline. And then when you back up, you're like, yeah, I could be a doctor, engineer. I could own a, because it becomes so seamless, right? And I appreciate that. I really want to say thank you to you and the writers for actually doing that. Seriously.
We're storytellers, you know, but the thing about, we are reflecting, we are a reflection of society, but we are also pointing a finger in a direction that many people don't even know that they can go there. And that's what I love about my job. That's what I love about being an artist, because I think we open doors in a way that sometimes it seems like, oh, yeah, because what you were saying earlier, King, about, you know, being first generation, and your parents saying, you know, it's a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, a teacher, maybe, you know. When we go to these career days, you don't often see many people outside of that realm, those, you know, those career choices. And to know that somebody could be an actor, a painter, a musician, or anything, you know, you know, own a vineyard, a farmer.
Right.
I think that is, we have to open up the world, let especially children know the possibilities of what's out there and what you can be, because, you know, the representation can be limited.
Right.
And when you're a child and you're like, but I don't like any of those things, I don't want to do any of those things, then you feel left out of society.
Right.
And I also want to add, I think it's important that it's showing that there's a way to affluence that doesn't involve basketball or football or rapping, that there's other ways. That's not the only way a Black person can earn wealth or be affluent. It's through sports or entertainment. Like, there are other avenues that we can pursue. So I think that little caveat is important as well.
Absolutely.
So the topic today was profession versus partnership and the choice that women have to make. Yesterday, the reason I came with this question or this topic, because yesterday, not just Audrey Hepburn, but yesterday, it was a young, bright man. He was going back and forth with a Black woman, and she was 44 and she didn't have any children. And she says she doesn't want any children. She wants to focus on her career and be who she is, right? And he was a little bit bewildered. Like, you don't want any kids, you don't want a partner, you don't want a lover. And then I had to jump in and say to him, you know, in the Bible it says to create and cultivate. That doesn't mean a child. That can mean many things outside of children, right? And I love the fact that we need to change the narrative behind that women are not validated unless they have a partner or children and stuff like that. We need to make sure, like, let's focus on women actually doing something professionally to give back to society. And so I want to have this discussion, this deep-rooted discussion, maybe a hard conversation with you ladies who have lovers, who have professions, who don't, whatever. Why is the narrative that women have to be, they're not validated unless they focus on family? Why not? Why isn't that a woman's value is based on her profession? Where did we go wrong as a society?
Well, I mean, you have me thinking about my new boss, Miss Oprah Winfrey, and to my knowledge, she hasn't raised any children, but she did open up a school for girls in South Africa.
Yes.
And that is the raising of so many children that she did not actually birth. And that has the kind of value that I don't think that we ignore it.
Right.
You know, we ignore it and we don't say, hey, how does what she's pouring into these young women, how is that going to manifest itself into something greater?
Right.
So that those young ladies who want to have children and a career or just children, they can go after those dreams. It's, you know, we talk about choice in terms of abortion rights, but we don't talk about choice in terms of, listen, I am choosing to live my life in a certain kind of way.
Right.
And maybe it's with children, maybe it's with children that are already here. I know lots of people who are raising children that they did not birth, who they brought into their families. And I think that's amazing. It's fantastic.
You know, it's funny because I'm 41, about to be 42 in March. And I don't have any kids, never been married. And because I don't have that, you know, he's a playboy. What's wrong with him, right? Even we men at a certain age get that as well, right? But I think it's far more worse for women, particularly Black women. And I don't understand why is that we're not celebrating Black women for going to prestigious schools, for being successful in their professional career. We only know them in the character of mother, grandmother, wife, right? Like, why isn't Michelle? Why does she have to be Mrs. Obama? Right? Why is that? Why isn't just Beyonce? Why it has to be Jay and Bay? Right? Why isn't it just Rihanna? Why now is ASAP got her walking down 125th looking crazy? Right? Let's talk. I'm joking. I'm joking. Shout out to Rihanna, ASAP, but why? Right? Why is it important that a woman needs a man to validate her?
Well, I mean, I think it depends on who is doing the validating.
Right.
Because if that's not what you value, then you're not going to validate that.
You
know, and when I say value, when I see, you know, my friends who've been married for a bunch of years and they're happy and they're skipping along, I love it, you know. But I have friends who are single and who are just as happy being single. I think there's a pressure that is put on, especially women, because we do have a limited amount of time to have children, that, oh, we're deemed suspect. Like, what's wrong with you? Are you selfish? How come you don't have any kids? What's wrong with you?
Right.
As opposed to, this may have been a choice, or it could have been circumstances, you
Right.
know. It's a very layered discussion that people want to assign blame to.
Right. Right. You know, it's funny. I've been around. I had the blessings and opportunity to travel to like over or close to 50 countries, and I actually took women with me, right? And some women were women who had children, and some of them, through private discussion, I don't want to blow up their spot. They would say to me, "Damn, I love my child, but if I didn't have my child or that particular baby father, I'll be someplace else right now." Or they tell me, "Where were you 14 years ago? Where were you 7 years ago?" And I'm getting like, if you choose your profession, then I could have had a family. But if you choose partnership, where would I have been?
But that's a hard discussion to have, right?
Right.
And when a woman says, you know what, perhaps, because, you know, you've raised this child for 14 years, you probably can't give the child back, you know? So,
Right.
you know, and so you're in it.
Right.
There's a hard discussion for people to have to say, you know what? No, I regret having these children. But it's a hard discussion to have, or a more blame-filled discussion to have on the other side, to say, man, I thought I didn't want to have children, and now I do, and now it's too late. You know? And so I think it's hard, because unless you are you truly know, and how can you truly know, right? But I think that we vilify people who are real, and we say, yeah, I don't like being a parent.
Right.
You know?
I say all the time, like, I like waking up, being able to walk in my duplex in New York City naked, right? I don't have to worry about a child running around, right? Like, I don't have to worry about making, like, I say it as like, I feel like I love being selfish right now in my life. I love being selfish, but it is a thing that I want to have somebody that I call my own, right? I want to have a partner and I want to have children, but I actually love being selfish right now, right? I don't have to answer to anybody but me. And that's that. I don't know. You're right. I feel like I'm a villain, right? I'm a Joker now, right?
I mean, I don't think you're the villain, you know, but I will say that you have a lot more time to, if you want to have your own biological children, you have a lot more time to say yes to that. I had an uncle who had his first and only child when he was 72 years old.
Right.
Jamaican.
Seriously? Yeah, Jamaican men always.
About right.
Yeah, but you know, so partnership, profession. I feel that Black women, correct me wrong, because I'm not a Black woman. I feel that Black women actually will lead towards profession over partnership for three main reasons. One, profession is more therapeutic than having a partner. You can bury anything you have, ego, insecurities, fear, and focus on your career, and it has a reward that come out of it. If you do that for a partner or a lover, you might not get what you put in, right? So just a safety with it in regards to what you put in, what you get out, the reciprocity factor, right? Two, it's easier to fulfill the profession or your purpose than to actually find a partner nowadays. It's easier. A qualified partner, because everybody can get anybody, right? But you want that somebody, right? Like, you just didn't go to Tufts. You just didn't go to Columbia. You could have went to any school. So you just didn't do. You want what you want. Your track record. Every woman on this panel, their track record is I want what I want, and I know how to put the work into it. So if I don't get what I want, I don't want it. Right? So it's easier to pursue your purpose and your profession over a partner. And then the last thing is, it's really limited out here in regards to Black men. If you only date Black men or Black women, whatever, it's very limited. Very limited. The selection process. So what do you think about that? Is that fair to say, the three things? Or
King, they want you to put sub mode on for the chat. Just
okay. How do you put sub mode? Oh, put sub mode. Okay. Hold on. I got it. I got it. Okay. So can you answer the question, or while I'm putting sub mode right now?
So yeah, Heather, like, what do you think? Do you think women allegedly choose their profession over partnership because it's limited supply of dateable, eligible, quality men out here?
No. I mean, I think that Black women are some of the most loving women in the world, and we will work with a man or whoever you are choosing to partner with. And what happens, I mean, you know what, and I'm just going to speak for myself. It's not, I'm single, and it's not because I didn't want to be partnered. And I had been married and it didn't work out. But I didn't feel like I had to choose between my career and love. But I think what you have to consider is the fact that you want somebody who's going to be able to go on this road with you and not and the compromises, because there will always be compromises, but the compromises won't have to be so great. You know? And there's this idea of being equally yoked with someone. And I think oftentimes we think about it in terms of, oh, you know, I went to Tufts. Did they go to college? You know, it's not that. It's about a set of values. And if you have the same set of values or a similar set of values that you can work on with someone that you can work with, then you will hopefully get to the places that you want to get to together. But I don't think that it's about Black women wanting to have a career beforehand. You know, I would ask, if I want to have a career, if I'm going to school and saying, these are the things that I aspire to, I want to be an actor. Are you going to dream with me, dream as big as I'm dreaming? Or are you going to say, nah, sis, you need to get a job? You know?
Whoa, 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 whoa. We get a little bit spicy here. Right.
I mean, you know,
whoa.
And that's real. You know, how do we support each other? You know, what does that look like?
So, Heather, just to speak to what you just said, which I thought was amazing, do you think that's why a lot of times when a person is in the industry, they tend to partner or marry someone else, because it's almost like they have that similar value, right? Like they kind of understand the social aspect of it, but they just understand that it's a thing that drives them. So maybe they might work in different sectors of the industry, but they kind of understand it. Do you think that that's a good common ground? Or have you seen some relationships where maybe one person was in the industry and the other one wasn't, and it kind of worked out?
I've seen a little bit of both. And I really do believe that it's about what you two decide together.
Right.
There's some couples who say, you know what, when you're working, I'm going to stay home, and vice versa. There
Right.
has to be a real level of communication. And I think that that's lacking. I think that that we fail to plan. And so because we're failing to plan, and not everything can be planned out, because if I get, the next Marvel movie and you get a Marvel movie, and we're not turning down the Marvel movie.
You're not doing that.
We're not doing that. But there's an understanding of how we meet. Where are we going to meet? How am I going? If children are involved, how are we raising these children? Who's going to be home with them, and when? Are we coming home on weekends? What is it that we are doing? And I don't know. I love Black people. I really do. I want us to be happy. I want us to love each other. I think that having any career is hard. Having the kind of career that I have, where nothing is guaranteed, can cause a little bit of agita if you don't have a little, you got to have a little bit more faith than the agita. So it is, listen, I'm just going to speak for myself. I'm hoping to find that person,
right,
who, can rock with me,
right,
throughout all of this, and just be true.
Right.
See, King, I think one aspect of why women in general, or Black women in particular, might veer toward career is because, to a certain extent, you have more control over the outcome in the career, whereas in the relationship, that's very risky. People break up, people fall in love, people fall out of love, people betray, people lie, people leave. Whereas if it's like, okay, I'm going to law school, that's on me. I know what I need to study. I can make these outlines. I know when the test is. I know it's more like I can have a little bit of a more control over the outcome, unless you're in a career like
Heather. That's what I'm about to say. Like
Heather,
but
it's more talented careers. You would have more, say so in the outcome. I think that might be.
No, that makes sense. That makes sense. But I think Heather's career, like you pointed out, is a career where she could be the most talented person in the room, and because of politics, she might not get the role. It's nothing. Like it's crazy. I've seen it, right? And that's why we had to talk, because Nikki's a big fan of Black imagery being unambiguously Black, right? And the reason why a lot of people who are unambiguously Black don't get roles because of politics, right? Mm-hmm. And so when you mention that today, now we have a platform that's not a real issue, right? But Heather could have had an audition, and because of politics, clearly she's the most talented. Like I said, she's steady, she's educated. This is what she does. She might not get the role, right? And just like in relationships, you could do a whole lot for your man that wears gray sweats, but he might leave you. I said gray sweats. The men with the gray. I love men with gray sweats. I don't want to talk about that because I get mad. Because y'all don't be giving no love to the Ivy League brothers. Y'all don't give no love to the World Travelers. When we put on the gray sweats, everything changes. I don't want to talk about that. But love is a gamble. Love is a gamble. And I think women are the best investors. Women do a lot of cost analysis. Women do cost analysis before men know how to spell cost analysis. They're like, if I do this, it could make me miss out on so much of this. And I'm not doing it for my man, the Gray Sweats. He's not worth me missing opportunities, right? And I think that's, to me, I love it. But because I'm an author of this book, I'm gonna say it hurts because you choose opportunity, materialism, stability over love. And it's kind of, it hurts me, like, because like, why can't our Black women choose love and still win?
I think we're often choosing love.
Mm.
You know, like
And
if
losing.
yeah, I mean, I think if you're, especially if you're saying to me that, you know, you've dated a number of women who've had children with other men, they chose love, you know, they chose love and it didn't work out. And so the thing that I try to live by, I can't be afraid to love somebody, you know, and sometimes it doesn't work out, you know. I hope at the end of my life, you know, I can say, I can look back and say, you know what, I I loved and had been loved fiercely,
Mm.
you know, and I think I have, you know, and I don't want what I had to be the last time.
Right.
But I don't think that we are looking around and saying, oh yeah, no, I mean, some people are. Some people are like, he's got to have this, and this, you know? And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with having a standard, you know? But I don't think that we are saying, well, if he doesn't have, you know, the education, or if he's not where I need him to be financially, but he has potential, that, you know, I'm just going to let him pass me by. Now, I'm going to say this. I'm a woman of a certain age, and I am no longer interested.
She said, I'm no longer, she changed that up. Said, I'm no longer.
I am no longer, because I have done this.
Right.
I am no longer interested in someone who is fully just potential. You have to have realized.
This is getting too, this is a little bit too spicy right now. Hold on. Wait, what do you mean? What do you mean, yo? What do you mean by you're not into anybody just partial or full potential? Like, you have to, like what do you mean by that? So
Not that you've got to, you know, come fully, you know, everything is just done. You know, I mean, that's boring. But whereas once upon a time I could see the potential and go, okay, you don't have it yet, but I'm gonna walk down the street with you and we're gonna help each other and try to do this thing. No, there's got to be something. Not just seeds planted, but some things have had to have taken root.
Damn.
I mean, but that's just me, because
Right.
It's not just you.
Yeah.
She said, wait, hold on. It's not
We
just,
agree.
no. Okay. So now we get into what I need to talk about now. So at what age do you recommend women, particularly Black and brown women, to stop living off potential and say this is what you need because it could be problematic? In their 30s, late 20s?
I mean, I'm gonna give these. I'm gonna give these women, if women want to be with men, I would say the latest mid-30s. You know,
The latest mid-30s.
the latest mid-30s, if you want to have children.
The
If
latest
that's a
mid-30s.
part of your plan, yes. Because again, you know, you said you're 41 going on 42. But I'm telling you that, you know, by my uncle's standards, you got a good 30, 35 years to have some children. And it depends on what you want. And it's about being clear. I think as a woman, you have to be clear about what you want. Now, you can sustain a man that has potential. And when I say potential, you've got to know if you're cool. Some women might say, you know what? I need someone who's going to be home when I get home. And I don't mind a man who's going to be here, cook, clean, shovel the snow,
A
take
sad stay-at-home dad, a stay-at-home dad, sad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, and hey, to each his own, if you're going to hold it down in that way, and that's what you are bringing, for somebody that's going to be fine, excellent, But what I'm saying is, if a man is coming to me and he's 40 years old or 45 years old, talking about, listen, I always wanted to do this thing that you never dipped your toe into. And you haven't accomplished something. It's one thing to change careers. You can, but have accomplished something. So that you put some work into something and you accomplished it. And now you want to change. That's totally different than coming to me at 40 or 45 and you've not accomplished anything that you've tried to do. Then I'm going to be leery of someone coming to me like that, because my spirit can't sustain that. Listen, and these are individual choices.
Yeah, man, you got me thinking. I'm about to be 42 March. I gotta finish this mixtape.
I was gonna say, don't come to me with your mixtape.
I gotta finish my mixtape.
But this is my thing. Why can't you make your mixtape at night and have a job? Like
I
don't mean you, but I mean these people that's like in the studio.
No, you yeah, but let's be real, Nikki. You did not go to law school and go to Wealthy to have a man that is not fully immersed in his career, right?
Correct. I can't do the mixtape game.
But not even the mixtape game. But what if your man wanted to be? First of all, for example, we have a lot of people that watch the shows who are truckers. They make 6 figures. They work hard. Could you ladies marry a trucker? Honestly.
Listen.
Cause like y'all say yes, but they're the ones right now outside of farmers who keep the nation going. They really do keep the nation, the America going. Without logistics and transportation, we're in trouble with the supply chain and everything. Could you marry a trucker?
Okay, King. Like, I have been on these dating apps lately, and I didn't know so many black men was truckers. Okay, it depends on the type of trucker. Now, are you? No, listen. Like a lot of them, it's like you in the picture with a blunt. Like you got gold teeth. You got fuzzy cornrow. I can't do that. Now, if you are a refined Renaissance trucker, then we could do that. But it just depends. If I can present you and if you can stand by me and we can walk in the same circles, then yes, fine, trucker. But if you look like a mixtape trucker, then no, I'm not gonna be able to do that. I need you to be able to meet me. We need to complement one another. So the fact that you're a trucker is not what's gonna check you off the list. That's not it. It's not the trucker part. It's how are you groomed? How do you speak? How do you present? How do you show up in the world when you're not in the truck? That's what's important to me.
Okay. Kim?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a pretty fascinating career. I think the thing that would maybe be problematic to me would be the time away. But then that just kind of depends, right? He could be a long haul trucker. They're gone for longer periods of time. Maybe he's doing short hauls. So it's a couple, days a week, or maybe like the full work week, whatever. I just think it just depends on like the type of life you want to build with that person, because that profession does have some limits. But I mean, what some of those limits are, it could also be made up financially. So it just kind of depends on how you structure it. And, you know, I do think that sometimes when couples do have some distance, it does strengthen communication, and it could just kind of make them, miss one another more. So, I mean, I would totally do it. I think, like Nikki said, it just depends on how well we complement one another on an individual level. And I think you can kind of work around that particular career nuance. It just depends.
Well, I would think that based on Freedom Journal, she says blue collar are beneath them, and most men, black men, we don't think that women who have went to your level of schooling, who have access to what you have access to, will want to deal with blue collar men. Why? Because it's a time where you will have to go to a philanthropic gala, a red carpet event, and there's this handsome, distinguished man who makes decent amount of money, right? We know 6 figures is minimum wage in New York and LA. Let's talk about it. Do you really want that? Can you really handle that? Even though he makes the money, but he doesn't have the prestige that you have.
See, for me,
when you choose profession, not only are you choosing a profession over a partnership, but your profession actually has a part in who you choose to mate and vet. Because we know that deals with proximity, right?
Okay. Yeah. I'm telling you, for me, I have on these apps conversed with some of these men who are truckers, and maybe I just got a bad sample. I don't know. It's not about the prestige. It's like, what do we have in common to talk about? What have you read lately? If I bring up something or a play that I've been to or an opera that I've seen, can we have a conversation? Are you even interested in any of the things that I'm interested in? And maybe I'm sure there's a trucker out there who is. I'm just saying, based on my little sample size, it's the conversation plateaus at a certain point that I want to go farther than that point. That's all I'm saying. So if I had a trucker who was, like I said, a Renaissance man who was a deep thinker and well-read and had traveled and could meet me where I am, I'm not gonna turn him away because he's a trucker. I actually prefer blue-collar workers.
Why?
Blue-collar workers have this attitude that I don't like.
So on the panel, do you have preferred blue-collar workers as well?
I don't necessarily have a preference. I have more so a preference of people, but like I read the reports that come from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. So like I know the upcoming needs for like a lot of these skills. And so I think as women, if we are looking for people to create a foundation and to create some stability, that's where we need to be looking, because those are going to be the ones that can like have the economic power to tangibly do that.
Right.
Again, it's more so to me just about the person and how much we have in common. And I don't like the stereotype and that we kind of hear in general that like some, blue collar people are not cultured or that they don't have interest or things like that. I think that's the assumption that people have. But I mean, I know some people that went to undergraduate and graduate school, and they're not cultured, and they're boring, and they're stupid, and all other kinds of things. So, it kind of depends on the person, because I know some idiots that went to some good schools.
I'm one. All right, Heather.
I mean, I agree with Kim and Nikki. I'm not going to choose someone based on their career. I'm going to choose someone based on their interests. And can we have a conversation? And I'm a sucker for a good conversation. And something that's not just hyperbole, something that's rooted in substance.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you can be on the road as a trucker and reading and making sure that when you get to those stops that you might be going to a museum, or you might be going to see a play, or taking in different interests. Just because you are a trucker doesn't mean that you lack education or that you lack curiosity.
Okay.
Because as Kim is saying, yeah, I know a lot of people who well-read went to some of the best universities and can't hold a conversation outside of the purview of their own career track. And that's boring. You know, I don't want to be with someone who is just going to talk about, TV all day.
Right.
I'm not interested in that.
Right. It's funny because we it's this recurring term concept we call hypergamy, where we as men don't believe women can love us unless we have more than them. How do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, I know a man who I think for the longest time, and he's not married, felt like he needed to be established before he got married. And I will say this: the most successful men that I know are married and have been married.
Ooh.
Because, and when I think about it, I think about, many of the millionaires, even quite a few of the billionaires, they didn't get to where they were by themselves. When you hear the narrative, oh yeah, they did it in their garage. Yeah, but the wife was at home. You could sit in the garage and tinker, because when you go, oh, I'm hungry, I need a sandwich. Hey, boo.
Right.
She's got your back.
Right.
And so I think that that's not the best thinking. If to think that, okay, yeah, in order for me to be with someone, I have to have all of this. No, you've got to have ambition,
Right.
especially when you are younger. Ambition.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, this a potential suitor for you. He's watching this show. He watched the replay and he hears, you got to have your stuff together before you come and talk to me. I don't deal with potential. And he's like, damn, hypergamy once again. Yes, it's because he's saying, like, due to my attributes, right? I can make her laugh. We can have great conversations. I make her feel, I fill her up every morning. Spiritually, we're connected, but I don't have more than Heather. Does that make that man out of your league? Yes, he's out of my league, bozo. Right?
I mean, again, like I said, I've been around.
Right.
And for me, I don't want to have to worry. I don't want to have to worry that my standard of living is going to decrease because someone is in my life. You don't have to have more than me.
Right.
Actually, the thing that you have to have is some good credit. Good credit doesn't mean a lot of money. To me, what good credit means is that you have an eye on the things that you have, that you are going to be a good steward over the things that you have. And that good stewardship means something to me. So if you don't have a lot, then you're not going to be out here trying to impress the Joneses. You're going to say, you know what? I got my little 15-year-old car and it works. And I'm not trying to get the newest and the greatest and the latest because I can't afford it. Take care of what I have. Now everybody likes, a little something that's shiny and new. That's cute. But I need to know that you were a good steward over the things that you have. If you come to me and you're making six figures, but your credit is shot, what you gonna do for me?
Damn. Whoa.
Because I don't.
Hold on. I gotta repair mine. Hold on.
The credit, bro. I mean,
you're throwing shots.
And I mean, some people may disagree with me, and that's fine.
All right, so he's making six figures. he's making M's, but his credit is funky. We're gonna use that word. His credit is really funky, right?
Yeah.
So he's not a candidate. He's not an eligible candidate for you.
For me, no. And I will tell you why, because that's my thing. That's where I'm.
She said that's
No, it's my thing.
cool. Like you see Kim was like, that's our thing. That's our thing.
I mean, because I am very.
He messed up. He messed up. He did a couple of business things. It didn't work out. His wife left him. Or he had to take care of his family. His mother, a lot of Black people, mothers be using their credits before they even finish terms 5 years old. Let's be honest, we know about these families, so they're looking crazy, but he makes 6 figures. He just, if you want to buy something, he has to liquid cash, but he can't he need a co-signer. What's up?
I'm not co-signing.
Well, hold up. What's this thing with Black women? They don't want to co-sign no more. Back in the day, you had to co-sign everything.
Exactly. And
that's why I got my G-Wagon right now. None of y'all too smart. Y'all got too much integrity. Y'all got to stop this shit. All right, go ahead.
And we learn.
Right.
No, I mean, you got to put the mask on yourself and save yourself sometimes,
right.
And so both of our credits are shot. Then what are we going to do?
Mm-hmm.
I just think that for me, it just speaks to a level of responsibility. And if you can be responsible with your money at $60,000, you make $60,000 and you're responsible and you got good credit, I'm going to rock with you before I rock with somebody who's making $150,000 and unless you are actively like, yeah, my mama and them, they really did, hijack my identity and trying to work it out.
No, but what if they say this is not a true story? What if they say, well, their credit is crazy, but they live off their business credit and they're doing exceptionally well? I'm not saying, I'm just saying I know people like that. Right?
I mean,
they live off their business. Right. I know people that live off their business credit. That their name is MK. Like they call you from their phone with MK's consultant. Like that's who they are now.
Well,
they got a trust that runs an LLC. Like they that's how it is. Like they don't run it. They're entity.
But are you going to take care of the business credit? Any
credit?
credit?
No, business credit is taken care of, but that's all they have is a business.
Yeah, any credit can be ruined.
Right.
Businesses sink all the time.
Right.
And so, again, what kind of steward are you over what you have? And why won't you protect your own name?
Damn. This is getting real spicy. Fellas, I hope you're taking notes. Ladies, I know y'all know this already. Now you got somebody that's advocating for you. Bad credit is not working, right? So shout out to all the men that wear the gray sweats. You're getting exposed today. That little imprint, it don't mean nothing if you don't got credit. I'm telling you, that imprint you got ain't work if you don't got credit. But it's funny because you mentioned stewardship. You mentioned integrity, right? Discipline, right? These are the concepts or the terms that women want in their life. And because I believe we don't see it with our Black men or our brown men, they're being, I believe Black women will become the men that they want. Black women are becoming the men that they want, right? Whereas that because of a Black woman's independence is inversely proportional to the lack of dependency of men. So because you don't depend on us so much at all, you have to be independent on your own, right? Because you can't depend on us, right? So you choose these careers, you choose your purpose over partnership. But then it becomes problematic because what about the community? Choosing profession or purpose, isn't it kind of selfish to choose over partnership? This is a question. I don't believe this is just a question.
Who are Black men choosing?
Oh. Well, I got a white Nubian queen.
Oh,
hey, come out there. They want to see you. No, I don't. who are we choosing? I think because of hypergamy, we're choosing. We have the burden of performance. We have to be able to produce, provide, protect. Right? Women have the burden of beauty. So you could be as smart, brilliant, you could be well accomplished. A man will still wife up someone that's not as accomplished as you. He will still cheat on you with someone that's not accomplished because we're visual creatures. We're simple, right? For the most part, not all. But we have the burden of performance. So we are choosing our professions because we don't have a profession. You just clearly stated we can't get you. If we do not perform, we cannot have a Heather. We cannot have a Nikki. We won't have access to Kim. I didn't go to Columbia or travel the world because of me. I wanted to, but for the most part, because I wanted to attract someone, a certain type of female. Even though I date strippers and stuff like that. I do. I'm not gonna lie, right? But I won't marry them, right? Who I'm gonna marry is different from who I sleep with. Let's get that correct. Who I have children with, right? So we position ourselves to get women like you. But when we position ourselves to get women like you are saying, you know what? No, I got it. I don't need you.
I really don't think that's true. I think that, I know a lot of women who have waited, who've been in relationships and have waited. But it didn't happen for them, maybe because the men were dating. And I will say this. I tell younger women to date because I think as Black women, we didn't know that we could date. We got into relationships, and I used to say, date like a white woman, just date. I'm going on a date.
Wait, is there a difference?
You know what? I think so. I think, my girlfriends who are white,
right, they
were like, oh, I have a date with such and such today and somebody else tomorrow. And I'm like, oh, what? Oh, that's what? Okay. Oh, okay. And we don't do that. There's something very puritanical about the way that Black women date. And, at least, when I was coming up, hopefully it has changed. And I think it has on a certain level.
right.
But we get very like, we're in this relationship. Whereas it should really just be an exploration as to, who suits you. Because by the time you're 6 months in and you realize, maybe this isn't the person for me, you might feel a little stuck. But just go out, experience different people. I don't know. I mean, ladies, did you all?
I think it's a cultural thing. Like, I think it's come up on the panel before about how Black women are called fast and hot in the pants and go sit down somewhere, get out them men's faces, and you don't want to be a 304. You don't want to be. So Black women are really sometimes constrained into not wanting to be seen a certain type of way. A very kind of conservative kind of upbringing for women of how you are to be seen and behave. So just dating this person and the next day this person and the next day this person, in our community, you're gonna be called.
Kim?
I totally agree. And especially if we look at like Southern culture, it's the same way. It's, you go out with Johnny 2 or 3 times. Everybody's like, so is that your boyfriend? Do y'all go together? Like, there is no just we are casually enjoying each other's company. It's kind of a rushing to the next phase. And I do think because it is to give off the illusion that I am a good, virtuous woman and that I just don't date everybody, which I think is misleading. Because to your point, Heather, you do feel stuck when you realize that it's not working. Whereas if you were just casually seeing that person, it would be different. And I think there's some misconception there as to what goes on when you're dating, because everybody just assumes that people that are dating or people of a certain age are going to have sex. So it's like, if you're dating multiple people, then you're having sex with multiple people. And that doesn't have to be the case. If it is, that's your life, but it doesn't have to be that way. So I think we still are very conscious of how we're perceived, even if what we're doing to not be perceived a certain way is working against our best interest. Because I absolutely think it does.
So it's okay. So I didn't know there was a difference between how the Sarah Jessica Parker dates from how the Heather Alicia Sims dates, right? I didn't know there was a difference. But is there a difference because how Black women invest more spiritually into relationships? So when they get out of a relationship, it actually affects their career and their livelihood. Because it seems like when the Sarah Jessica Parkers break up, they move on. But our Black women, when we break up, it's like when they break up, it's like, whoa, like you messed up my life. I can't focus no more. Like, why is that a difference? Like, why is it a cultural thing?
It might be what we're investing and giving up during those relationships. If you have your boundaries intact, sometimes it's pretty simple to separate. And not saying that you don't miss that person, that you don't love them, whatever. But like if you're in something and you're just giving too much of yourself too soon and you were just fully vested in that person and it ends, it's just going to be, I'm not going to say a disaster, but it's going to shake you. It's going to shake you to your core. So I don't know, maybe they have their boundaries a little bit more intact, or maybe they feel a level of hurt and they just go on to the next. You know, the old adage, the best way to get over a man is under a new one. So maybe some people are doing that. You just kind of don't know because it's personal. But I mean, yeah, maybe those people just have very strict boundaries and folks are just not getting past it. So it's super, super easy just to move on. I don't know.
Do you think women who choose their profession or purpose are entitled?
Entitled to what?
A certain type of man or treatment, right?
Well, y'all men don't care about our jobs, right? Isn't that what my uncle says? Men don't care about a woman's career.
Yeah, your uncle, my frat brother Kevin Samuels says we don't care about your jobs or your schooling because they are not transferable skill sets into a relationship. You having a PhD, JD, MFA doesn't mean that you'll be a good wife. That's what he said.
But not having one doesn't mean you'll be a good wife either.
But he said what happens is they lead with that basically you lead with that, and then essentially you think you deserve the top male or the top echelon of men because of your status, your degree status or socioeconomic status. And men, he said that men don't really care about that, right?
They should.
That's what he said. Listen, that's your uncle and that's my frat. I'm not going to
at the family reunion. We will talk about it.
When I see with the conclave, I talk to him, but I don't know what's going on. But my thing is, how do you feel like you're entitled? Do you feel like because of who you are professionally, you have the first picks of the top tier men? Honestly, let's keep it real.
I don't like the word entitled. That's throwing me. I definitely think that there are things I deserve, but I don't think I'm entitled to anything. And the things that I deserve are not necessarily based on my education. It's because I'm a woman. I'm somebody's daughter. I'm a child of the king. I deserve certain things because of that, not because I went to this school. In my opinion.
Okay, that sounds good, but Heather, you don't think you deserve? Not he's married. I'm naming married men, so it doesn't count. You don't think you deserve an Idris? You don't think you deserve a Denzel? You don't think you deserve a Damon? You don't think you deserve you don't think you're entitled to that?
I think I'm entitled to my happiness. Ooh. I think I'm entitled to, and I deserve my happiness. Mm-hmm. And I don't think it's definable by where I went to school or what I do for a living. That's not the thing. That's not the sum of who I am and what I bring. I'm not sitting around every day talking about, I went to Tufts and I went to Columbia,
Right.
Because yeah, on a certain level, who cares? But do I value those things for myself? Absolutely. Because I worked hard to get to those places. So I'm not sitting around saying, "Oh, I deserve to be with this kind of man." I deserve to be with a man that's going to make me happy because I'm going to make a man happy. I'm going to I deserve, like Nikki said, because I'm a child of the king and my parents raised me, they worked hard, I have a community around me.
Right.
I deserve to fulfill my dreams. Whatever that looks like.
Right. So maybe I used the wrong word, right? It's not entitlement. Also is being deserving, right? So why do you feel that you're deserving? Outside of God, outside of just being a black woman, royalty, regal, right? Why do you feel that you deserve that? Because you put in the work.
Yeah, because I put in the work and I'm not gonna give you any less than I'm expecting from you. So there has to be a level of reciprocity that comes in the mix. And I'm not talking about a tit for tat situation. So just because I do this one thing doesn't mean that you have to do the other, but it means that their balance, we are able to bring our different gifts to the table,
right,
and build from there.
Right. Dr. William V. Robinson III says men are ego driven. A woman's accomplishments achieved on her own do not elevate a man's ego. This is what I'm saying. I feel like we as men believe that you're here to cater to us. And so when you choose profession over partnership, we feel like, is she being a woman? Aren't they here to cater to us? Why is she choosing herself before us?
What if we choose both?
Can women do that? Can black and brown women do that?
We've been doing it for centuries. We've been working and loving and doing all of those things. What I think what happens is, when we get tired in a certain area, how can that lack be built up or provided for in some way? Because, if you say you're the providers, what are you providing?
Could you be with a man that says, I don't want you to do anything, I'll pay for everything?
It's not about, but see, the thing is, I'm an actor, as we've already stated. I've not always made a lot of money.
Right.
And so it's not that I've always worked as an actor to make money. It's something that I love to do. It's something that feeds my soul.
Right.
And so for someone to say, "Oh, if you look at work as just work, as just effort,"
right,
then someone could say to you, "Yeah, you know what? Let me have you rest."
Right.
But if your work isn't just effort, it is something that you love to do, then why would you want to take away my love from me? And so you can say, "Oh yeah, you don't have to work anymore." Well, I'm not working. If I'm a doctor and I just love healing people, if I'm an attorney and I love solving your problems, if I'm a teacher and I love providing knowledge,
right,
then I'm not working.
Right.
I'm loving.
Now we're gonna get to some real questions. Now, you're an actress, and I think actors are the most dangerous people in the world because they can assume character and personalities at will, and emotions at will. Have you ever convinced yourself that you love someone but you really didn't? You were in character. Because women do that a lot, right? But you're an actress, so you can really convince somebody. I was like, this is who I really love you. Women, I think all women are. I don't want really liars. But anyway, but um, you're
Going into it the wrong way, bro.
you're an actress.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever played the role of being in love or completely enamored with someone you really didn't love in real life?
What would that do for me?
I mean, just to have somebody, right? And a lot of women just act like they want to be someplace and they don't want to be someplace, but they don't want to be alone. The fear of alone is very crippling for a lot of our Black women and brown sisters.
I think that it's crippling for a lot of people.
Right.
No, and perhaps I may have stayed in relationship with people longer than I should have, but to pretend that I love someone that I didn't know, that's too hard.
That's one role you can't accept. You won't audition for.
No, I'm not going to audition for that role because
Right.
it doesn't serve me. Actually, it's selfishly, it doesn't serve me.
Right.
You know,
Like,
you gotta believe that that's the only man out there.
I know some women that do, and I know some women that really act like this. That's the only man out there, and I know some women that that are able to make themselves cry for someone that they really don't want to be with, but they don't want to let them go though.
Well,
you know someone.
I know. Man, listen, man, listen. Listen. Next question. The next question is, do you regret, is there anybody that your profession or any love in your past life that your profession made you lose out on? You don't have to name the person's name, but is there somebody that you had to choose your profession over and you kind of wish you could probably do it again?
No.
Wow. Nikki, is there someone that you said, I really gotta study for torts, but I want to go out with this man. I'm a 2L, but I'm going to choose my law degree over him. Is there anybody in your life that you chose your profession over?
No, mine is actually the opposite. There are people I wish I would have focused more on my profession when I was giving these people my time.
So we're gonna get to that. That's a part two. Kim, is there anybody that you chose your profession over, a potential lover that you wish you could revisit?
No, no one comes to mind.
Okay. All right. So the reverse. How many men have you wished that you chose your profession over, but you chose them?
All of them. I'm joking.
Oh.
I'm joking. That was just
right.
I'm being spicy.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe not chosen over, but I think that there are situations and maybe things that I did that I could have just had a little bit more focus and discipline. Right. Because I was like, oh, this is going to be fun, or oh, this is going to lead to something, or oh, this is, and the writing was on the wall that it was not going to, and I just didn't see it. So I think probably a little bit more balance going towards, the discipline part, because I think that we can have it all. I just don't think we can have it all at one time. And so there were certain seasons when it was my time to focus and I wasn't. So if I had, and I don't like to say I had regrets because I learned from it, but if I could kind of tip the scale and kind of make it a little different, kind of even it out a little bit, there were times that I would definitely focus just a little bit more and just let stuff that was just flowing in the wind and just very casual and just very not worth my time, I should have let that
go. Okay. Nikki?
I'm saying there I should have focused on my profession, but really what I mean is I should have been focusing on me more and choosing me and what was best for me
Right.
rather than, there are times where I stayed in relationships because it's like, breaking up is such a pain. He's gonna cry, like, and so I stayed way longer than I should have when I should have chosen me. And part of choosing me would have included my profession. But yeah, I definitely have one relationship in particular, like that was 7 years, that probably 5.5 was too long.
Mm.
In my late 20s and early 30s, like right when I should have been doing some other things.
Okay, Heather.
I mean, I agree with both these ladies. I think that there were times when a relationship was broken, when I was trying to heal it, because I tend to skew towards a hopefulness that I probably shouldn't have had, because the writing was on the wall and I could have just said, you know what? Yeah, this is over. But I didn't, for a lot of the reasons that Nikki just stated. Breaking up is hard. How do you do that?
Mm-hmm.
Even when it's already broken.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yesterday we had a show and we had a guy who's a father. His name is TV Trucking, and he has daughters, and he wants his daughters to be aware of the type of men out here. In regards to the men that you choose in your life, especially women who choose profession over partnership, how important is the vetting process and the incorporation or integration of your parents? Or does it matter? If I love them, I love them. I don't care what my parents think. Oh, she's on that. She's on the great sweats. But how important is it, the integration of parents and family in your vetting process as a professional, purposeful woman?
I mean, it's important to me, but it's not foolproof, because your parents can love someone and the person turns out to be absolutely wrong for you, and vice versa. And I've had that in my life, and so is it important? Yeah. Is it necessary? I don't know. In a perfect world, you want your family and friends to love who you partner with.
Mm-hmm.
It just makes Thanksgiving easier. But that's not always going to be the case.
Right.
And so, and it may be the kind of thing where someone, I have a person in my family who, we came to love their partner.
Right.
But they didn't start out that way.
Right.
It started out real sketchy.
Right.
And then it was like, oh, okay. So, it's that open heart that both people have to have if they're going to be in a relationship and they want it to be sustainable.
Right. It's funny because you would think, we got the gray sweats now. Back in the days, did they have like brown trousers that let men, like who were the dysfunctional men back then? The green corduroys, like what did they have back then? But Nikki, what do you feel?
I honestly feel like I was more of the, I love him, I'm doing whatever I want. And so I could have used a little more I could have used some vetting, because there wasn't no vetting. There was gray sweatpants, V on the hip, 2 thumbs up. Let's go. That was
wait.
So I could have used a lot more vetting.
Right.
Say that again.
That was a little bit too graphic. Thank you.
I know you ain't saying I'm being graphic.
I'm not used to you doing that. I do that.
Okay.
Be on the hip. Yeesh. All right. Kim.
I think it's important. I think it's a good place to start. When it comes to family, though, I feel that we have this pressure like it's got to be serious before I introduce you. And now, if I'm re-looking at it, I'm thinking just let anybody meet your folks or your family or your village, right? Just because before you get too attached, if they have some constructive criticism, if they pick out something that is going to go against whatever it is you've got going on, you're not so attached. And so you're like, okay, I'm not going to date you anymore. I think the whole parent and family thing doesn't work anymore because by the time we introduce them, we've been dating for 6 months. Sometimes if you live away, it's a year. And at that point, you don't care what your family says. You don't care if mama, daddy, the dog, the cat, they don't like him. Who cares? This is my man. We've been together. I'm going to stick beside him. So I think it's a good thing to do. I think it's about timing. I mean, I remember a story. My mom met someone. I was young. I was super, super young. This is just when I was like, kind of like Nikki. Oh, he's hot. I want to date him, whatever. And my mom picked up something very critical about him. And I was like, no, I don't think that's true, Mom. And then go forward, what she said was absolutely true. Now, I was younger, so I was not attached. It wasn't really a super huge, big thing. But I was like, you know what? I am really glad to have my mom and have her eyes and ears on this because that could have just been a whole situation for me. So I think it's important, but we have to just do it a little bit earlier. And we have to set the expectation with our family that like, this is not my person. It's just someone I want y'all to meet. Cause you know how families are. They take it too far sometimes and just get too excited. So you got to have that prep talk with them prior to, bringing people around them. But I think it's good.
But also, you got to have your people who are going to tell you the truth
Yeah.
in real time. And
Yes.
so not everybody, but your point people, because one of the things I remember breaking up with someone and then I got a whole parade. Well, girl, I could have told you, when I first met him. Well, where were you when I first met him? How come, you were clinking glasses at the party and not saying and pulling me to the side? Pull me to the side.
Right.
If you have strong emotions, don't let me go down this road without stating them.
But a lot of times we don't want to do that because then you become the enemy. Right?
Yes, but
I don't want to be the enemy, right? I'm like, oh.
People like, I'm gonna mind my business because I don't want no problems.
Right.
But if you feel like, oh, you in danger, girl, then tell me.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me. And you know what? And maybe that has to be clearly stated too. And not everybody. But maybe it's like, your 2 or 3 friends or family members that you're like, you know what? I trust your opinion. I trust your eye.
Mm-hmm.
If you see something, say something, please.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she is so a crime. Because we're about to end the show and it's 2 hours. Thank you for the time. So we're about to end in about 13 minutes, right? We appreciate the time because we know you're a very busy person. And you didn't have to come, but thank you for coming.
And I told her 30 minutes, so she been here.
Yeah, that's why we have literally. Oh, we don't want to extend, but it was such a great conversation, and I don't think anybody had this candid conversation with you ever because it's like we really get to talk to you about like how do you feel about vetting, how do you feel about men, how do you feel about love, how do you feel about just profession in comparison to partnership. What advice would you give young women, not just young actors or thespians, but young professional women in regards to if someone walks up to you like, I really love this guy, but I have a chance to go to UCLA or USC and pursue a degree in film. What would you tell that young woman? And this guy is a good guy. His credit is good. You know what I mean? It's not like me. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? He didn't go to the feds like me. His credit is good. He don't got the great sweats like me, but his credit is good. And he's going to the film school. You know what I mean? What advice would you give her?
I would tell her that nothing is impossible, and you don't have to stop your dream, and you don't have to stop the love if it's there, because many people, create a life for themselves. And it depends. If, he likes you, you like him, and you want to work it out, maybe he'll move to UCLA for a couple of years. Maybe, there are a lot of maybes. And so you don't have to be stuck in one idea of how life can be and what your life can look like. It might be a long distance relationship. Maybe you move halfway across the country and y'all can meet in the middle. Who knows?
Right. So how do I say this? What do you think, Nikki? What advice would you give that young lady? She wants to go to law school, but she has a man that she totally loves.
I would piggyback on what Heather said. Like in today's, society where we have planes, trains, automobiles, FaceTime, WhatsApp, Duo, it's people used to like leave a whole country and leave their whole family like in Ireland and come here for 4 years and make enough money to send a ticket back to bring them here. And we're acting like we can't spend 3 months a couple miles away from someone and maintain a relationship. Like I think maybe we need to put on our big girl underwear and figure it out. Like there's so many resources and so many ways that you can, if you really love this person really loves you and you're committed to making it work, it should be able to work. I mean, you can travel, you can video chat, you can see each other every day, even though you're not in the same space. If you really are committed to making it work, and this is not just a flighty butterfly in the stomach type of situation, then you can go to school and you can make it work. I would not advise someone to give up their dream or their love or their, if their career is what they love, I wouldn't advise them to give that up for a relationship without at least making a sincere attempt to try to have both.
Wow. Kim?
I agree. I agree with the ladies. They've so eloquently said it. I think where there is a will, there's a way, but you have to have the will and you both have to have it. In situations like this, I would just advise someone to not make compromises that don't feel good to them. I'm not going to say equal compromise because if you're going somewhere and they're having to leave and they're going to follow you, they're probably making a little bit more of a compromise than you are. But does it feel good to them? Do they feel okay? Are they solid and secure enough in the relationship to do it? I think that's fine because it's not going to be equal all the time. But you have to really make decisions, at least ones in the moment, that you feel as good as you can. And to Nikki's point, we've got all kind of technology. And I'm a firm believer that absence makes the heart grow fonder. I think distance makes the heart grow fonder. And you learn things about yourself and how you operate in a relationship and how they operate when you guys are not always in one another's face. Because it's very easy to be integral and to be monogamous when that person's following you around, and when you get off work you're together, you wake up together, you do all these things, but like who are you really when you have to stand on your own 2 feet and stand on the commitment that you made to someone else? Right. So I'm always one for following your dreams, and you can follow love as well, and love will follow you, and I think it'll totally be fine.
All right. So does partnership, is the end goal for partnership for a woman like yourself marriage, or it's just partnership? It's no longer traditional marriage.
It's the marriage for me, dog. Because
partnership, the end goal is.
Yeah, okay. Absolutely. Yeah.
Nikki.
Yes, we're going to need all of those legal benefits, that Social Security check after 10 years of marriage, whether we're divorced or not. We're going to need that pension. Right. We're going to need the legalities of it all.
And Heather, you're creative, so it might be a different answer from everybody else because you are creative, and I've dated creatives before. It might not be a traditional answer, but is marriage an end goal for partnership for you? And keep in mind, You can marry someone with bad credit. We don't have to file taxes together. We can be married and file separately. Thank you very much. Heather, what do you say?
I mean, I love the idea of marriage. I really do. And I think for myself, I would like to I would like to be married, you know. I say that with some hesitancy, but there's a
Right. I felt a
yeah.
little pause.
Um,
I felt a little pause right there. I thought it was an ad lib about to drop. What happened?
well, you know what? Like I said, I've been married, and not that my past should discourage me from that future. You know what? Yes, marriage is the end goal for me.
For partnership.
Yeah, for a partnership. Yeah.
So you ladies are telling me you can't have a partnership if it doesn't end in marriage.
Oh, no. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that that is a goal. Now, have my goals changed over the years? Absolutely. There are things that I've, thought I wanted, and, I got something else and I was just as satisfied. Now, I may be like, it might be an Oprah and Stedman situation, right? They seem perfectly happy, from the little that I see of them in the media. They seem to be working it out. I don't know. That looks like that looks like a marriage to me. And so, do I need something more traditional than that? I've wanted that in the past, yes. So I'm not going to say that I don't want that again.
Right. Heather, we have a question from 123 Kid XL. He says, Heather's an actress. Can you ask her how marriage is for actors/actresses who are married to non-actors and actresses?
Oh, I mean, there's a diversity of thought.
Right.
I have friends who are married to, people who aren't in the arts at all. I know people who are married to visual artists, who are married to attorneys. I think it can be an interesting dynamic because it takes you out of the brain of just being in the arts and talking about this thing that we do. So that was, for a long time, I thought that was the goal.
Okay. It's crazy to me because I don't think people will ever get this type of information in a colloquial fashion, right? Very informal. It's like this is really heavy information about just love and partnership and profession. And I don't think that I'm glad that we had three amazing, beautiful queens, flowers, women. Unfortunately and fortunately, all from DST. They're gonna brag now. See, they're gonna brag now. But at the end of the day, we have them to give us this information. And this is amazing. Delta is usually a sign of change. What do you have to improve on, right? We go to business, what's your plus and what's your deltas, right? But this is funny because they're helping us grow. These are our growth areas, right? For just Black men, Black women, brown men, brown women. These are our growth areas. What do we value? One of the words that Heather used earlier is value. How do you value yourself? She also talked about what she deserves. Not what she's entitled to, what she deserves. And it's a big distinction between what you deserve and what you think you're entitled to, right? Because deserving is an umbrella term for putting in the work and meeting destiny halfway. That's what it means. Basically, I deserve this because I put in the work, right? As we all know, luck is preparation plus opportunity. That's what luck is. You prepare your life. Like she had to prepare her life for this role, and she had the opportunity to audition, and she got it. That's what luck is. So if in regards to, this is the last question, does that formula apply to relationships? You prepare your life for this person and you finally meet them and it works. Is that what we're saying?
I think so. I think that you have to be prepared. You have to be mentally healthy um, to be in relationship with anyone. You know, um, you can be available, but not ready, not healthy. So there's a preparation I think that you have to be in relationship. You could live in your apartment, your house all by yourself, all the closets full, find somebody, try to bring them in and they can't fit their clothes in the closet. And you're like, what you gonna do? You're not prepared.
Right. Kim, Nikki, are women preparing themselves for the guy they're eventually going to meet? So they should be easy. Just go after the career, because you're really just preparing for yourself for that man that's for you.
I think both people should be in preparation mode for one another, and not only for each other, but just for the undertaking of partnership. You have to prepare and make room and space for that. And some of that you can't do until you get in it, and then some of it you have to. So it's a balance. And I really just want to take this opportunity to also just reiterate the fact that marriage and partnership, it can be whatever the two people decide that it is. And
Even
so it's
polygamy?
only going to be, I'm sorry?
You in polygamy? Can I have another girlfriend? Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, Kim. Sorry.
I
had to ask.
That silent shutdown.
Right.
No, I mean, honestly, no, seriously, I'm a firm believer that like relationships can be what you want them to be. And so part of that preparation is understanding that and finding someone and having that candid convo with them. How do we want to do things? Are we going to have one bank account? Are we going to keep our money? Are we going to split the bills? Do you pay? Just all of those things. Like, we don't have to allow society to dictate that to us. We can decide. So part of that preparation is understanding what you want, but then also knowing that you're going to have a conversation with someone else. So I see where you were going, King. I picked up what you put down, and you were asking if women were preparing themselves, but I want men to be prepared too. And just outside of making a six-figure income, prepare your mind, prepare your heart, prepare your leadership skills, prepare your empathy. Just, we both have to be prepared. That's it.
Okay. Nikki?
Yeah, I agree with everything they say. And I do definitely think you should just, instead of stressing so much about, oh, I got to find this person, I got to find my husband, like, focus on being, the light that you're designed to be. Because I really do believe when you are your best and you're happy and you're fulfilled, you have this energy that is palpable that like draws the person to you. And so, like, why would the universe, why would God, why would Providence bring to you your person if you're not prepared, if you're not ready, you don't have the mindset? Why would God give you his best if you're going to mistreat it? Because your mind is not right. So if we prepare ourselves mentally, spiritually, physically, I think, all things are working together for our good. If I'm in my lane, on assignment, addressing the mission that has been given to me and making sure that I'm a healthy person mentally, physically, spiritually, then, what I need will be provided for me. And then I'll be prepared to care for it, to nurture it, to respect it, to honor it, so that it can grow and blossom and bloom and be all the beautiful things that a family is supposed to be. So yes, my advice is, women, I know the whole thing is not like women should always working on themselves. It ain't about working on yourself. I think it is about working on yourself in a way that you are forwardly thinking, like, I'm working on myself so that I can be my best for and to someone else.
Wow, this is a lot of information today. Today's a lot. I really love this conversation. I wish you could go long because I want to really ask questions like, are you currently seeing somebody? What are you doing your next project? But that's none of my business. What we're gonna do, what we're gonna talk about now is just how we're gonna close out, and what are the last parting words you'd like to give to everybody that comes to watch Conversations with King, Queen's Court. What do you have to say to them? Something for them to leave with, something nourishing. What would you like to leave them
And Heather, make sure you tell them when and where they can watch Kings of Napa.
Well, first, let me just thank you for this conversation. Thank you for having me. It was a great, fantastic conversation. I didn't really know what to expect. So thank you. Thank you, Soros. Thank you, King. And thank you to your audience. I just saw a couple of the comments flying by. And I mean, I guess, just continue to love yourself and try to make space for yourself, so that you can make space for the love that you are looking for in this world, because I think that's really important. Making space for yourself and honoring, what you have and the gifts that you have to offer. Yeah, and watch the Kings of Napa. It comes on OWN.
Right.
On Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central. Reruns on the West Coast or airs on the West Coast at 10 o'clock. And if you've missed any episodes, you can go to Oprah.com and catch up on the episodes. Tonight was the 4th episode. We've got 4 more. And yeah.
Wow.
We want the ratings. We want to be there for next season. So
and you will be.
Watch.
Please go
And
and support.
yeah, we're excited about it. So yeah.
Please go and support. Please go and support Heather. She's amazing. And we want to make sure anything she's attached to, we are followers. She has. Do you have like a group? You have, we got Rihanna's Navy, Beyonce's Beehive. What does Heather have? She needs to have something, because that's what we are. We're gonna be following everywhere, and whoever gets on her, we're gonna start trolling them. That's what we're gonna do.
Thank you. I don't know what I have yet, but
we're gonna have the Heather Yardies. We the Yardies.
What's your IG? Where can they follow you on Instagram?
Instagram, I'm BK Jam Child.
Ooh. Okay, BK Jam Child. Let's go. I'm definitely, let me follow right now. BK Jam Child, because that's fire. I like that.
Yeah, BK Jam Child.
Yeah. BK Jam Child.
Jam,
J-A-M as in Jamaica.
Oh, Jam. Okay. BK J-M.
J-A-M.
Okay, Child. Okay, I got you. I'm here. So please go and follow her. OWN TV, Kings of Napa's on Tuesday nights.
Yeah.
So definitely let's go and support. And we want to thank you so much for coming, and for everybody that came to support Conversation with King, Queen's Court with Nikki and Kim. We appreciate you. So much gratitude. And I hope the rest of your week is full of abundance. So everybody take care, and good night to all.
Good night.